A group of white vacationers floated down the Apple River in Wisconsin, laughing, drinking, and feeling invincible. They had no idea that their day of so-called fun would turn into a nightmare, one they created themselves. They thought they could push around a man they saw as an outsider. They thought they could humiliate someone just because they were different. But they were wrong. This is Strawberry Inc., and today we're talking about Nicolae Miu, the Romanian immigrant who fought back. It started as a peaceful afternoon in July 2022. Nicolae Miu, 52 years old, was tubing along the Apple River. An engineer by trade, a man from Romania who had built his life in America, he wasn't looking for trouble, but trouble found him. The group of privileged, arrogant, and white individuals decided that Miu didn't belong. Maybe it was his accent, maybe it was his age. Maybe it was just because he wasn't like them. Whatever the reason, they surrounded him, taunting him, shoving him, treating him like garbage. But they didn't stop there. They accused him of being a creep, of filming them with a GoPro, an accusation that was never proven. What was proven? They didn't use the just words. They got physical. One shoved him, another grabbed him, more circled him, like predators smelling blood. And for what? Because they thought they could? Because they thought he wouldn't fight back? But he did. Trapped, outnumbered, Miu did the only thing he could. He defended himself. A knife was drawn. In the chaos, 5 people were stabbed. One, a 17-year-old, didn't make it. The rest were injured. Now, the media painted this as a tragedy, a senseless attack by an older man on innocent teenagers, whiteys, whatever you want to call it. But let's talk about that. They picked a fight. They escalated it. They made Nicolae Miu feel like he had no way out. And when he reacted, suddenly they were the victims. Let's be clear, Nicolae Miu didn't go looking for violence. But when it came for him, he refused to let himself be beaten down. However, he was arrested by the St. Croix County Sheriff's Office and taken to their headquarters. When Nicolae was interrogated, he claimed to have just been defending himself. Afterwards, Nicolae Miu was booked into the St. Croix County Jail, where he would be held on a $1 million bail to await trial, granted on purpose so he would not await trial out of custody. Sounds like the white man is dominating once again. The trial was as much as a spectacle as the incident itself. Nicolae was charged with first-degree reckless homicide, 4 counts of first-degree reckless endangering safety, and misdemeanor battery. Prosecutor Carl Anderson, who is also white, painted him as a cold-blooded killer, claiming Nicolae Miu was the aggressor. Him and his counsel ignored the harassment, the bullying, and the fact that Nicolae Miu was the one being attacked first. The defense in the trial argued self-defense. The evidence was there. Videos showed the group closing in on him. Witnesses admitted to the hostility. One of the 5 alleged victims testified. It was the most pathetic cross-examination I have ever heard of. Nicolae Miu was represented by 2 defense attorneys, Aaron Nelson and Corey Chirafisi. They begged the jury to free this poor man, but they didn't care. They saw a man who fought back against the wrong people, white people. Therefore, the verdict was the following: guilty. On first-degree reckless homicide, 4 counts of reckless injury, and misdemeanor battery. Wisconsin Judge Michael Waterman, who obviously is also white, he months later sentenced him to life in prison with the possibility of parole after completing 35 years for the homicide charge. At least Judge Waterman had the courtesy to give him a parole. For the 4 endangerment ones, 20 years, 6 years, and 5 years for 2 of them. All concurrent prison terms that would be served at the same time. Lastly, concurrent days of 270 for the misdemeanor battery charge, time served. He is serving that sentence at the state prison in Stanley, Wisconsin. In other words, Nicolae Mew received a sentence of 35 years to life for defending himself, for not letting a gang of entitled kids push him around, for surviving. Was it tragic? Of course, someone died. But let's not pretend this was a one-sided crime. Let's not erase the way Nicolae Mew was treated before it all escalated. They called him a creep, they ganged up on him, they made him feel like his only way out was a knife. So tell me, who were the real aggressors here? The 5 whiteys, the 5 retards. It is shocking how retarded a white person can be, or a group of white people could be. I know so many white retards out there, whom are just dumb, whom are just scums, and who suck. To the 4 injured victims here, shame on you, you showed no remorse throughout the case. And to the 1 deceased victim, rest in peace. Free Nicolae Mew. This has been Strawberry Inc., and thank you for listening. Please share this episode to your loved ones, that's including your friends. Until next time, have a good day.